What is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV today. It is Thursday, June the 14th, 2018, and we are just 2 days away from one of my absolute favorite shows in the world, NXT TakeOver, which is coming to us for the second time this year from Chicago, Illinois. And we are here to talk about it right here and right now on the newest, fastest wrestling podcast in all of YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Radio, and Podbean, baby. The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nick Nightmare. Along with me, as always, is the world's greatest tag team of Thor the Sledgehammer, the wrestling god of thunder, and the official sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and my little buddy, my most trusted companion, and the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, Blue the Snowball. Thank you for joining us here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's official preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. That's right, baby. I am looking forward to Saturday more than anything else going on this weekend. You want to call it Money in the Bank weekend, I call it TakeOver weekend, because when NXT take over, they do so in an absolutely fantastic way. 5 of the best matchups you are going to see all weekend long. You know, Money in the Bank is twice as long. They have about 2 times as many matchups that we have to go over with you guys later on the preview show for that. And it's not going to be anywhere nearly as exciting, not anywhere nearly as fulfilling as a wrestling fan as you are going to get Saturday night from the Windy City as NXT takes over Chicago. I cannot wait for this show. I have been anticipating TakeOver Chicago since we ended TakeOver New Orleans. TakeOver New Orleans was perhaps the absolute finest TakeOver ever produced by Triple H and company in the WWE, and coming off of that, they have to follow that show. And I absolutely expect them to do so with the matchups that we got alone. We are going to be in for a fantastic night. Before we get into all of the matchups, which we're going to go through as fast and furiously as possible, I want to give a shout out once again to the WWE promo package team. Now, I told you guys, if you were watching the SmackDown Live and the Raw review this week, I made mention how the promo team is so fantastic at making these video packages to hype their matchups. Not the ones that they use to interrupt the matches in the in-match promos that they've been doing, but the ones to really hype up a match, like they did with AJ and Shinsuke on SmackDown Live. They really, really know how to take garbage and turn it into gold. The promo packages that we see make everything that we have to put through as a dejected and disgruntled fan every Monday and Tuesday look like they put on some of the greatest wrestling shows possible on a weekly basis, which we all know that is not the case unless we are talking about NXT. Now imagine those promo package people getting their hands on the top quality stuff that is coming at us in NXT. You have promo packages, most especially when I watched NXT this past week, they had a package featuring the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, and everybody's favorite little psycho, Nikki Cross. By the time that promo was done, I had chills. I had goosebumps, and my anticipation grew tenfold. I knew, and I have seen everything that was in there. There was no surprises. But the way they told the story and the way it comes together in the promos on NXT make you feel like, God, why are they not doing this on the main roster and giving this to us where that's where we should be getting this type of stuff. NXT should be the brand that's struggling and following behind the main shows, but that is not the case, and it goes right down to the staff and the creative, not the writers, but the producers and the editors and the guys that put together these things. Absolutely fantastic. I had to bring it up because I legit was covered in goosebumps and I had chills up my spine watching the promo package featuring the women's match that we are going to talk about that's happening at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Let's get to the match card screen. Let's pull it up. TakeOver Chicago is coming at us Saturday. Let's take a look. This is the first match we are going to feature because this is probably the most anticipated matchup for many of us on a show that is full of highly anticipated matchups, and it's because of the two talents involved. Ricochet, one of the most beloved independent wrestlers in the world. I've seen him at House of Glory firsthand. I was in the front row with my wife, and we watched Ricochet tear it down with the Amazing Red in an absolutely fantastic match brought to you guys by House of Glory. He was very quickly signed up by NXT following my viewing of him at that show, and he was no longer going to be on the indies anymore, and he was going to be in NXT, and anybody that knows anything about Ricochet knows that he calls himself the King for a reason. He's fucking fantastic. If you don't like flippy style wrestling, he still does actual wrestling as well. He's a fantastic talent. He needs a little work on the mic, and that's why I think this feud is good for him as well, because who better than the Velveteen Dream to push somebody to their level, to make you have to think on your feet, to make you have to come back at him with creative and different responses, because he's going to throw you for a loop no matter what comes out of his mouth. I absolutely love and respect Patrick Clark with the utmost of my, I don't even know how to say it, more than anything that I could even describe, because I watched the Tough Enough where he was a contestant, and he stood up for wrestling in the face of some of the people that are on that show that are clearly on there just for 5 minutes of fame. They don't really give a shit about pro wrestling, and he was an avid defender of the business, and he made his way after losing Tough Enough, as many of the contestants do, and look at where he is now. You cannot lack in your respect for the Velveteen Dream. Why do you think I'm wearing purple today? Why do you think I'm wearing this shirt? It's not just because it's a hot fucking day here in New York. It's not just because the Macho Man Randy Savage is one of the greatest wrestlers that ever walked this planet. It's because it's purple. And I wanted to wear something in tribute to my current favorite NXT superstar, which is the Velveteen Dream. What this guy's doing is absolutely magical. The Nightmare loves the Dream. And that's not the first time. I used to love the American Dream, Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry, and Cody Rhodes as well, but Dusty Rhodes. I got Cody on the brain with all the all-in stuff going on and everything. But be that as it may, we ain't here to talk about them. This match is going to probably steal the show. There was a little scare that Ricochet may have sustained an injury overseas during the UK tour that the WWE and NXT is currently partaking in. But that is not the case. This match is scheduled to go on, and it is going to be a happening. Make sure you don't miss this one. It might be the show to kick off the entire show and get the crowd pumping, and is certainly going to do that. If I have to pick a winner in this scenario, I'm going with the Dream. I'm going with the Velveteen Dream. If for no other reason than he has been there for so long, and his work and everything that he's done has improved 110% since day one with this gimmick. Everybody loves the Dream. He's due for a big win. Ricochet is just getting started, and his aura and his essence can take the hit from losing to one of the biggest stars in the brand right now. So I'm going with the Dream. Nothing against Ricochet. It really could go either way, but as an NXT fan, you know, they really could have done a lot more with this. Because before Ricochet even came to NXT, to that roster, and was ready to go, Velveteen Dream was doing a lot of tweeting, talking shit about the independent wrestling guys that come in and take all the spotlight from the guys that have been homegrown and featured in NXT since day one. And I really thought they were going to play with that and allow that to grow. They kind of teased it here and there a little bit, but the build-up up to now has been fine. So I, again, am really looking forward to this one, and it's going to be great. Flipping around or not, the Dream's body language and ability versus the athleticism and craziness of Ricochet, it's going to make for a great match. Matchup number 2 for the NXT Tag Team Championships, the Undisputed Era. The combination of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong is going to be taking on this badass duo of British brawlers. We got Oni Lorcan. He's fucking awesome. And we got Danny Birch, who is also awesome. These guys are high impact, very intense. The build-up for this match has been going on for a long time. We've had a lot of encounters between these particular men, and every time they get in the ring together, it's nothing short of exciting, nothing short of hard-hitting and very, very brutal. Absolutely fantastic storytelling in their matches, and you have got to get your eyes on this one. As much as I would love to see Lorcan and Birch pull off the surprise here, I do not see the Undisputed Era going down at all. And you know, Adam Cole doesn't have a match. You know, Bobby Fish might be running around back there. You don't know. Maybe he'll hobble out with his cane and help the guys in some way. They are a heel faction. I don't really care for that type of stuff all the time, but in this case, the threat might be real from Lorcan and Birch, and they might need to pull out all the stops and call out the guys. And Adam Cole might even just be there at ringside and just around to help, which might make all the difference. And the Undisputed Era, I believe, will remain our NXT Tag Team Champions. Not much more we could really say about that match. This match sells itself. Everything that has been going on with the Undisputed Era has been absolutely great. No complaints here from this guy. We don't, do the reviews on NXT so often, so I know a lot of you guys don't really know where I'm coming from as far as how I feel about certain superstars, and we will start getting to some NXT weekly reviews eventually. I do promise you guys that, but when a takeover comes to town, we are sure to let you guys know where it's at, and we bring the hammer down in a very positive way, not like we do on the Raw and SmackDown reviews. So let's move on to the next match so the positivity can continue. The Women's Championship. Oh my God. Let me tell you something, you guys. I was not initially on board with the coronation of Shayna Baszler, but everything that has happened since she has won the NXT Women's Championship has been some of the best stuff in all of the women's division, all over, anywhere in the world. Whoever is producing these segments for these women should immediately be promoted to Monday Night Raw and given the head pen. Give him the reins, no pun intended. Don't give him Roman Reigns. Give him the reins of Monday Night Raw. I guarantee you this one guy will write 3 hours of TV that's going to leave us jaw-dropped by the end. We'll be exhausted in the good way, like we used to be watching wrestling. Not in this, oh my God, I struggle to stay awake kind of thing. Everything that they have put together for this feud, from the bullying of the entire NXT Women's Division by Shayna Baszler, her specifically targeting Dakota Kai, almost breaking her arm, clearly the smaller and meeker of some of the contestants in the Women's Division. And for the first time ever, Shayna Baszler is being confronted with something that she does not understand, and she does not have any idea how to take on, and she just actually might be a little bit afraid herself. Because what did Shayna Baszler say on the road to this matchup? She says she's feared by all, and she loves that because fear is respect. And then she took that stance and just absolutely got in the face of every single person or woman in that division, not caring, just being a real arrogant, pompous ass, owning that championship, owning the top spot with every last fiber that she could muster and give her all. And she has absolutely become one of the top female talents in wrestling, just in this small amount of time that she's been allowed to develop as the NXT championship, as the NXT champion. I don't see the same thing happening for Ronda Rousey. I don't think Ronda Rousey has half the charisma that Shayna Baszler has been showing us, and it seems to be growing as her confidence seems to be growing by the week. But in this case, she's facing someone who has no fear. And what happens when there is no fear? There is only chaos, and that chaos comes in the form of Nikki Cross. She actually made Shayna Baszler jump. When have you ever seen that happen? Shayna Baszler has always been standing with that title on her shoulder, just absolutely confident, not backing down to anybody. But Nikki Cross gave a little juke, faked a little move, as if she was going to knock Shayna Baszler on her ass, and Baszler jumped back. She backed up in fear. She didn't know what was coming at her. And Nikki Cross played her for a fool. And then at one point she stole the NXT Championship in a fake pinfall that was executed by Dakota Kai. She's running around holding the belt. She was never the champ. Just absolutely bringing Shayna Baszler to her boiling point. And it's going to all come to a head this Saturday at TakeOver. This is going to be a great match. And as much, again, like I said, with the tag team titles, as much as I would love to see Nikki Cross come out on top and get her first reign as NXT Women's Champion, this girl has given us two of, or maybe more, of some of the best women's matches across the last couple of years when you consider what she did with Asuka, what she's done with girls like Ember Moon, some of the women's match of the year candidates for sure on this lady's resume. What is she going to be able to do with Shayna Baszler? And what is Shayna Baszler going to have to do to stop this absolutely lunatic lady? Because she doesn't have an off button. Somehow Shayna Baszler is going to find a way to wrap her up like a snake and make Nikki Cross tap out, and we will continue to see the Queen of Spades reign supreme on NXT. Let's get to matchup number 4 as we're getting to the two big ones, most especially the grudge match of all grudge matches, the Chicago street fight between Gargano and Ciampa. There is not one match happening in all of the WWE today that has the story behind it that this one has. Nothing has as much drama, has as much absolute twist and turn on the edge of your seat capabilities as what we have seen with Ciampa and Gargano. We said during the Cruiserweight Classic when they took place in their match in the opening round that they were great opponents as friends. Imagine what we would get as enemies, and boy, was I right. Over the last, since when? Since last year, since NXT TakeOver Chicago 1, where Tommaso Ciampa turned his back on his DIY tag team partner. I'm getting overexcited. My adrenaline's pumping. I'm getting my words all jumbled together. Because this match is just insane. There is nothing that I can even really say to you to sell this match as beautifully and as perfectly as NXT Creative has painted for you guys to go and watch on NXT. Another case of the promotional people doing a fantastic job. They took the gold nuggets that they gave us and gave us absolute diamond promos, because when you see actually how long this has gone on, from TakeOver Chicago with the betrayal, and then TakeOver New Orleans when Johnny Gargano finally got a measure of revenge, and then we thought Tommaso Ciampa and him were done, only to have Tommaso Ciampa come back looking like Kano from Mortal Kombat with the whole eye thing going on and just absolutely decimating Johnny Gargano, and he assumed that he put Johnny Gargano out on the shelf for good this time. But Johnny Gargano cannot be held down, and he comes back and attacks Tommaso Ciampa, and round we go. But the next thing we know, Candice Wrestling accidentally gets hit by her husband in a spot just a couple of weeks back on NXT, knocking her unconscious. This infuriates Johnny to the point where he needs this street fight, because he's not coming to Chicago to wrestle Ciampa. He's coming there to beat the shit out of him. For everything that's been going on now, there's tension with his wife. His wife wants nothing more to do with this. She wants this all to be done. She wants him to forget about Ciampa and move on. But Gargano just cannot. And he needs to get his hands on this bearded bastard. And he is going to do the very best he can to tear him apart at the place where it all began, TakeOver Chicago 2. And it's going to be something special. I don't think this is going to be the main event like they did to us at New Orleans, but I wouldn't put it past them if they actually do so. And if they do, expect something huge at the very end. I can't imagine what it is, but if they close this show once again, something big has got to be going down. So I'm looking forward to this match. Maybe, the Dream and Ricochet number 1. This is actually number 2, maybe. Just because I'm excited of the newness with the Dream and Ricochet. And this has been going on. It's the absolute best built feud in all of pro wrestling right now, and I don't think we are coming to a culmination. I think we are just making the next stop on the way with this rivalry, because I don't think it's ever going to end. And if they're smart, they will bring it up to the main roster, and they will acknowledge everything that has been going on in NXT as history. Feature it. Show clips. Bring people into the know. Let people experience it for themselves. You want people to buy the network? This is all you need. I'm torn. I'm torn here. I'm thinking that they're going to give the win to Gargano, but if they did that, then this feud would be done. And I think they're going to extend it along just a little bit, maybe to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which I will be at, which might be the final match between the two. And in order for that to happen, I kind of think Ciampa has to win this one. So I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa, my head leading the way in this way, as my heart definitely wants Johnny Gargano to pull this one out, but I do think that'll be the case. And if it is, this might actually be the finality of this rivalry, and maybe they'll call these guys up to the main roster and get moving over there. Who knows? But the main event of the evening, at least is supposed to be, the NXT Heavyweight Championship. Lars Sullivan, the freak of nature, with his freak accident slam, which is absolutely brutal, by the way, going up against the champion, Alistair Black, and that black mass kick that would knock my entire set of teeth with the jaw and everything clear to fucking Alabama if he hit me with it. It's absolutely that deadly, and that's what this match is about. This match is going to be about who's able to get that big move down first. And after what we've seen on NXT this week, I don't know for sure. And I struggle to say that Alistair Black is going to easily dispatch Lars Sullivan. Sullivan quickly dominated Alistair Black as he was giving a promo during NXT. He was telling everybody in the NXT universe that no matter the fact that Lars Sullivan caught my kick and tried to stop it, it is just an inevitability that he promises us Sullivan will fade to black. Sullivan's music hits. He comes out. He gets in the ring. Next thing you know, he's hitting Alistair Black with 3 freak accident slams. He carries his lifeless body to the announce table, drapes him over it like a dead carcass, and then stands above him holding the NXT Championship, telling him, "This is your future. I'm not fading to black. You're the one that's fading to black." And NXT went off the air, and that is how they left us as we march towards Saturday. And I honestly do not know if Alistair Black is going to have enough to take down this man. When you take into account everything he just was put through on Wednesday night, which is only days removed from the biggest matchup on NXT's card for the championship, is he going to have enough? Is he going to be all beat up? Is he going to come out all taped up? Is he going to have a big bullseye on his back for Lars Sullivan to just beat down, dominate, and shock the NXT world? If he takes this title from Black, I'd actually be okay with it. You might think otherwise, since I'm such a mark for Alistair Black. I love the music. I loved his look. I loved his one-time match in the UK Championship Tournament when he showed up as Tommy End in his independent name and just became Alistair Black, and it was fantastic. His match there was great. I was totally into it. I'm still into it. I didn't think that this guy actually needed the championship. But here we are. And he's facing the biggest challenge he has had on the roster to date in Lars Sullivan, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. And I will come out of my seat if Lars Sullivan ends up beating Alistair Black. But the good thing that can come out of that is if that happens, we may see Alistair Black on the main roster sooner than later. And the bad news in that scenario is we will see Alistair Black on the main roster sooner than later. And God knows we know that they do not know what to do. That was a lot of no's in one sentence. With NXT talent. And to them, he'll just be another guy that's all theme music. They'll put him out there, his song will play, he'll come out, he'll do his little ha And then, I don't know, they won't know. They'll give him squash matches, or they'll make him fucking lose to, no, wait, Jose. Jerk off. So I'm thinking, honestly, that Alistair Black will come out on top. He looked like he was much more of the weaker of the two coming out of NXT, so he has to get his win back, so to speak. He has to come out on top, but that does not mean the WWE might not throw a curveball at us, and Triple H might want to keep us on our toes, and maybe there's an even bigger plan for the future with Lars Sullivan. We will have to wait for Saturday to find out, as NXT TakeOver Chicago is coming at us Saturday night. Saturday night. How many times have I said Saturday night in this broadcast? You guys, I say these things to you because I want it to be interactive. If you want to make a game out of this, find out, count out how many times did I say NXT, how many times did I say great or awesome. I don't know, do whatever you want. Just make sure, however you tally up, whatever phrase it is you want to use, you make sure you let me know what it is in the comment section down below, which as always is your guys to peruse and abuse at your pleasure. Just keep it sexy like I am in my tank top, and keep it respectful and have fun with each other. Don't be dicks, or you will find yourself on the outside looking in. And I don't like to do that. I don't want to do that to anybody. So, have respect for others if you want respect yourself, and we can all have fun in that comment section, just like we always do. I don't really have that problem. I don't even know why I went on that. I don't know. But we're trying to wrap up this show, because we got another show to do. We have to do the Money in the Bank preview and predictions, which I'm not looking forward to going down that car with you. That's going to be a long and arduous task. But I beg you all to come along with it with me. Make sure you keep your eyes on the channel. Make sure you are ready and waiting for that Money in the Bank preview. One of the best ways that you could not miss that is to subscribe to this channel right now. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because YouTube sucks right now. And if you want to be sure that you're notified and you're sure that you see that beautiful thumbnail pop up, all you got to do is ring that bell. Ring that bell! Just do it for me. And subscribe to this channel. Smash that thumbs up if you enjoyed today's show, if you agreed with everything I have to say, if you like my Macho Man Randy Savage tank top, my AJ Styles hat, if you like the picture that I drew for you guys tonight, nice little thing that I just decided to do because I didn't know what phrase to write, so I said, hey, let me be a little different. I know you guys can't hashtag it. That's fine. That's fine. It's just something we're doing a little different today. And do not forget to share this video with each and every one of your wrestling friends all over the wrestling world, so that we can spread the word and grow this channel exponentially. And hopefully we can get to 1K by the time SummerSlam rolls around in my backyard. We are going to be bringing you as much coverage as we can of everything that weekend and along the way as we get set for Money in the Bank weekend, but mostly ready for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. Don't forget to check out everything else on the channel. We have the Raw review from this week is live. We have the SmackDown Live review live. We have the House of Glory review from Temperature Rising. That's live on the channel right now. We have a little something, a little ditty about CM Punk that we threw out there. Just kind of farted it out just to talk about it a little bit. So I threw it out there for you. Make sure you watch it all. And when you do, smash that like button. This way everybody knows it's the best show in town. As we always try to be, this awesome team of Thor, the wrestling god of thunder, the official sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, my little buddy, my most trusted companion, and the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, blew the snowball. I am Nick Nightmare, your host with the most. Thank you guys for checking us out here today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Podbean, baby. Don't forget to like us, follow us, do all that stuff over there, 5-star ratings and whatever. And if you are listening, make sure you go check us out, youtube.com/SledgehammerTV. This way you get to see all the fun things that go on and not just hear my beautiful, beautiful voice. Thank you guys so much once again. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you all weekend long for Money in the Bank coverage right here on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, baby, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Have a good one.